Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Wednesday, October the 5th, and it is the final day of the Major League Baseball regular season. And here to break that down, like we've been doing all throughout this entire MLB season, is myself, known as Coach, and that's Joe Sarvati, along with Josh Crash Davis. Mr. Josh, how are you today on this final day of the season?
I'm doing well, Coach. Doing well. Very busy today. Just a lot going on, and my wife and I, it's our anniversary, so we have a lot going on this evening too. So, just a full day, nonstop. But keeps you busy, and hopefully we can make some good money. This last day of the year. So,
well, congratulations to you and Hannah, especially to Hannah for putting up with you.
Right.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
You guys have a wonderful anniversary and a wonderful dinner and whatever you're going to do. I hope you guys have a great evening.
We look forward to it. Thank you.
You bet. Interesting couple things I want to talk about last night, because I was sitting on my, on the top of the seat waiting to jump off. It was an interesting night. So first of all, congratulations to all the members and, listeners that had good nights last night. We had a really solid night. Had the top two chalk pitchers, had Urias go crazy for us early on. It was an awesome night. We won on DraftKings, won on Fanduel, and won on Yahoo, even had a winner on Boom. So that was really fun. The only thing is, and I'm not going to be a whiner complainer, but I have to say, we were sitting in fifth place in a couple of these giant contests in a few different spots, fourth, fifth,
right,
with like double the amount of innings left to play. And had guys like Freeman and Betts and on and on. I won't even waste time with it. But we didn't get anything from those guys.
I know. Nothing. Those bats were as cold as ice. That's for sure.
They didn't do a thing. We did get a FanDuel homer from my man Grichik. So that helped us on FanDuel.
Right.
But it was one of those great nights, and you got to celebrate the great nights, but it could have been a spectacular night. But that's okay, because you know what? Why don't we finish this season up with that spectacular afternoon that we're shooting for here? We've got all the teams playing at the same time here, like 4 o'clock, and then the season's over. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go over these games. We'll go through them, talk about them like we normally do, get our pay up value, play all our plays that we normally talk about, stacks, etc. And then we're also going to build the very final Two Brains Are Better Than One FanDuel lineup together for the last time this season, because there'll be short slates in the playoffs here, so we probably won't do any of those. But we figured we would finish up with some really good things there. So appreciate everybody jumping in here. No, it's a weird time, but we have to go now. If you're going to be playing this big slate at 4 o'clock, you got to be ready to roll. Big shout out to Nathan Feudy, his first guy in again. He gets the championship today. David Dulac, of course. Payne Blanks SM, Feel the Pain, Dead Presidents. I cover all my bases. Aloysius 5, one of our new members. I love having you in the building and in with us as a member, and really love that you joined us. And remember, new members too, if you don't know this, that at your request, if you want to do a one-on-one session with any of our pros, including me, be happy to do that with you. Just send me a DM in Discord. We do that with all of our new members. Just give them a feel for exactly what Coach talks about, our whole aspect of bankroll management and mainly contest selection, which is the most underrated thing in the industry. So Aloysius, any of the other people that are new or jumping in, just shoot me a DM and we'll spend some time. JT, what's up? Cedric Bad, what are you doing, my friend? Tony A, hello. Tony A's on time today. He's usually late to the party. So now I'm excited he's here on time. Travis Duarte and Mr. Few, Josh Gillum. That is the crew that's in here so far. I know we'll have some other people that drift in as we go, again, with an odd time. But hey, we need to get through this and get ready for this 4 o'clock slate. A lot of money to be made. And then again, we're going to have not only fish money on NFL Sundays and the weekends, we're going to start having some NBA fish money during the MLB playoffs. So we're going to be covering this MLB playoffs every day. We're going to be supplying lineups all the way through the final game of the World Series. We also will have the podcast until NBA starts on Crash's birthday on the 16th in 11 days. Then we will shift to the 7-day-a-week NBA podcast, and we'll rock and roll from there. So if you want to join us, go to dfscoachtalk.com. As you can see scrolling on the bottom of the screen, we have our NBA membership available. And if you sign up today, you get from today until the start of the NBA season on the 16th for free. And then it's the Lucas special, 4 payments of $77. And that happens throughout the NBA season. And you're a member until April 9th, 2023. And when you're a member at Coach Talk, you get everything that we've got, all of our sports, everything. We don't hold back. You don't have to pay by sport, any of that weird stuff. You're part of the family. We're going to go after and we're going to win this together. Deb Lutz, how are you? How are you, Miss Deb Lutz? Great to see you. Money's been flowing here. You are right. All right. Let's see here. King of Smack here, flowing through my hand like butter since the anniversary. Hey, you got to spend the bucks. Crash, take a note from King of Smack. You got to spend the dough on your anniversary like he did. He took his wife to, I think, the Gulf Coast there, Mississippi, whatever it was.
Wow.
Yeah. You better not let Hanny hear that stuff.
maybe next year we can do something like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, I'm telling you, by hell or high water, we're going to the NBA Summer League. We're having a Coach Talk meetup in Vegas in July. So keep your ears open for that one. And I am so fired up for it. All right. 2 games that I'm not going to play, Crash. You're welcome to play them. They have not been canceled yet. We have 15 games on this slate, okay? 15 on DraftKings, 14 on Fanduel and Yahoo. There's 2 games that I don't like the way the weather looks. The games don't mean diddly-do, and I'm not going to mess with them. It's the game in New York and in Boston. So the Mets and Red Sox game. Again, follow it to the end. We'll be posting information just like we did yesterday. I was fading all 3. Then we went to playing all 3, and then just the one canceled. So, we may flip as we go. But I'll tell you, I did fade those games yesterday, and that was a big part of taking down some of that stuff that we did. Another Yahoo takedown, though, too. How about that, man?
Yeah.
If you haven't played Yahoo, please play it. Do you know that I've been preaching that? And finally yesterday, Crash, did you see who split with me?
I don't know if I did.
There was a 2-way tie on the one takedown on the $25 single entry, and it was me and my man Lanny. Lanny finally played my lineup in Yahoo, and so it was so great. And I just wish people would be playing those, because yesterday my DraftKings Core 7 scored, single entry FanDuel crushed, and Yahoo single entry was absolutely nuts. So come play them with us, man. We give out full lineups, as the members know, and if you're listeners on Yahoo and FanDuel and that core group in all sports in DraftKings. So, all right, I don't want to get you behind schedule here. Are you going to play the games in New York and Boston?
Right now, I do have some of that Boston game, so I'm hoping that they'll play. I like the matchup there with a lot of those Boston bats against Josh Fleming. So hopefully they'll play, but I don't know. It looks a little iffy. So we'll have to see what happens there. If that game doesn't play, then I'm going to have to make some moves, because I've got, like I said, 3-4 guys from the Red Sox right now in my lineups. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the same school of thought as yesterday. Is why gamble extra when you don't really have to,
Yeah,
unless you have just absolute smash guys that you want to try to get in lower owned, which you can.
sure. Yep.
You can. So, all right. You ready to go?
I am ready. I was looking to see who it was because I had somebody that had won some money on Yahoo with me the other day on NFL, but I
Oh,
can't remember
good,
who it
good.
was right now. But yeah, they had, I think it was probably Monday night, but it may have been Sunday. I can't remember. But anyway, you were talking about Yahoo, and I was going to look at that real quick. But
And I
let's
mean,
move on.
you wouldn't know basketball is my main sport looking behind me, but I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
cannot wait for this basketball season. And
Oh, I know.
even though I was sweating those games last night for big takedowns, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stop myself from watching some of the NBA preseason. I kept flipping back and forth. I'm such an NBA basketball junkie. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this, dude. We got to go after it. So game one, here we go. It is 4:00, and that's when lock is, and that's when everything starts rocking and rolling. It's the LA Angels and Oakland Athletics. Oh, thank you for the well wishes, by the way. I'm about 50% better, and really appreciate that. Getting some steam back in the wagon here. 77 in Oakland. How weird is that? It's like
Yeah.
the hottest day in Oakland this century, I think. No, but it's hardly any wind. Beautiful day for the final game of the season. They'll probably. I saw the game there yesterday. I'm not joking, Crash. I think there were like 200 people in the whole place.
Wow.
It's the
Yeah.
smallest crowd I've ever seen. It was more ticket takers and like people selling beer than there were fans. It's Shohei Ohtani, 10.9K, and Ken Waldichuk, the lefty, 5.2K, 6.5 total, 3.94 implied for the Angels, 2.56 for the Angels. And we have the lineups out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to hear your take on this game.
Yeah. So it's Rengifo, Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Duffy, Fletcher, Soto, Adele, Stassi. That's
But you
their.
can't play Ohtani as a hitter.
You can't play Ohtani as a hitter because he's pitching, and he is my favorite pitcher on this slate, by the way. So,
Okay.
His last start was against Oakland. It was last Thursday. He had an 8 shutout inning, 10 strikeout game for 64 fantasy points. The Angels aren't in the playoff chase, so they have no reason to pull, Ohtani early. So he's probably going to pitch as long as he possibly can. And I just like him in the matchup. He's my favorite guy. As far as the bats go, I may end up going to some of these Angels bats with that, possibility that I move off of Boston. They would probably be the stack that I would pivot to because I do like them against Waldichuk. And on the other side, I don't have any interest in the A's. So,
all right, before I give my info on this game, why don't we look at pitching ownership since we're right on Ohtani right off the schneid here.
right.
Let's see what it looks like. So on DraftKings projected ownership, Corbin Burns 46, Shohei Ohtani 42. Those are the two chalk pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Pivetta grabbing 25 in that possible rain game.
Man,
Then
that's
it floods down to Kershaw at 14, Savali 13, Fried 13, Valdez 11. Everybody else single digits.
Yeah.
On FanDuel, it's Corbin Burns 32, Shohei 27, and then believe it or not, there's nobody else above 6.
Wow.
So everybody on the planet looks like is going with Burns and Ohtani. So I'm not even going to mention because there's like a million guys that are 5 and 6%. And then on Yahoo, Burns 44, Ohtani 43, Kershaw getting a lot more love there at 32, and Framber Valdez at 28. And then it falls off the face of the earth to single digits from everybody else on down. All right. Are you ready for my hottest take of the day in my first take of the day?
You're fading Ohtani.
Let me explain. I watched the game yesterday. Ohtani I had in every lineup.
Mm-hmm.
He was at bat. He got hit with a fastball. He's a left-handed batter, although he pitches right-handed. He got hit right square in his pitching arm tricep. And I mean flush. You could hear it. And he was hurting. He was grabbing it, hurting. He even rubbed it with the baseball no-no. And he went up to first base and he was moving it around. They checked him out. He stayed in the game. All right. There's no way in hell that's not sore today, swollen up, enlarged, whatever the case may be. They signed him to a contract for next year for $30 million, which really is stealing. I know that sounds ludicrous, but
right.
He'd get $30 million as a hitter for somebody, or $30 million as a pitcher. He's a top 6 or 7 in both in the whole league. So there's a few things here. Now this gets deep, Crash, so you got to hang with me. I think they signed him for 1 year for $30 million.
Okay.
Because it's a bargain, and he agreed to it. The team is up for sale. What they're wanting to do, in my opinion, part of this sale, I think they trade Ohtani for a boatload. If they're going to get just a boatload of players, picks, young talent, I think that's going to be part of the allure to sell this team. He got hit in the arm. It's got to be sore, no doubt. I think they protect him a little bit because the last thing you want is an injury. If you're looking to trade him, or even if they do keep him next year, you don't want him last game injury.
Right.
He's already done everything you can do. So I don't see how they push him too far in this game. So because of those instances, it's deep, but I'm going to completely fade Ohtani. And you know how much I love Ohtani. And if you saw him get hit, watch it, pull it up on you Google it, look it up on YouTube. He got plunked. And people think, okay, that was his non-pitching hand. Wrong. He's a left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher. So he got hit right in the pitching arm. So anyway, I spent a long time saying it because it's the biggest decision that I make today. And because that could, shift the slate. He's going against a crappy Oakland team in a bad stadium, but it is warmer there. And, so I think that with all the stuff I said, I'm going to fade Ohtani in that first game. So I'm not playing Waldichuk either. I'm not certainly going to stack against Ohtani by any stretch. A one-off possibly could happen with maybe a Seth Brown or a Jordan Diaz at 2.2K and 2.8K, or a Sean Murphy, who's had a hell of a year at 4K. Those would be the three guys. Maybe grab one of those. So that's it. Little stunning, huh?
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. It's hard to believe that more people aren't aware of that, that ownership is not reflecting that at all. So,
well, guess what? How many people knew that? Like, I'd love to know how many people saw that and knew that.
I mean, I didn't know that, and I watch baseball way more than most. So
here's the thing, and I got to do this. I know we're crushed for time today, but here's what you got to know about Coach Talk. And I got to do this, Crash, 30 seconds most on the soapbox. We grind, we watch, we look and see what's going on. When I'm watching a basketball game, I'm watching the coach, I'm watching the bench, I'm watching when people check in and out. I'm not watching the ball. I'm watching away from the ball. Who's working for position? Who's, what's the body language? Some people, some touts out there, some of the big boys, they make fun of that. You know what? They can kiss my ass because I'll beat them every time because they're not seeing the stuff that matters. You can't dump those kind of statistics into a computer and it's just going to spit out winners. You can do that if you want to play 35, 40 grand tonight, 150 max, enter 50 contests, go for it. But if you want to play like those of us that are normal play, even if you're playing $300-400, $20, whatever it is, you need those edges. And we're watching all that stuff. What Coach Talk is built on in that sense is old school because we want to see what they're doing, how they're reacting, what the teammates do, all of the stuff that matters. That's how we're hand building lineups. That's how we've been a winner for 7 years straight. And
Right.
that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, let me say one last thing. We still do optimizers. We still look at the ownership. We still look at the leverage. We do all the things that you need to do if you want to be successful. But if you don't layer that other part in, that's what people miss. They jump in here, they get home 20 minutes before lock, they take a look at what somebody's optimizer spits out and they play it. Well, good luck with a single bullet. You're not going to win. You're going to reload. Join us here at Coach Talk. We'll teach you how to do it right on a budget that's reasonable, and you're going to win. So there you go. I had to say it. All right. We move forward.
Yep.
The next game on the slate is Toronto-Baltimore even on the slate, the second game? I don't know.
It's not. It's
not. St. Louis and Pittsburgh, 4:05. It is in Pittsburgh, 70 degrees. Beautiful fall day in the Northeast. No wind, 7.5 total, 3.54 for the Cardinals, 3.96 for the Pirates. Matthew Liberatore, the lefty for the Cardinals, 6.1K. Johan Oviedo, 5.7K for the Buccos. What do you got?
I will have a couple different things here. First of all, Arenado is only supposed to get 2 at bats. I would assume that Goldschmidt's probably going to be on the same pitch or, count, whatever, hit count.
Pinch hit for,
Yeah, exactly. And I do like Corey Dickerson, and I also like Albert Pujols. I think they'll try and let him get as many home runs as he can over that 703 number. I think that he's going to hit a home run today. I really do. So I do like Pujols in this game, and that's about it.
Excellent. Yeah, don't pay up for the big bats for the Cardinals because they're not going to go the whole game.
Right.
I like the Pujols call. That's very tempting. Maybe a Yepes or one of those guys are cheap. I'll tell you, you're not going to have to worry about salary today. You're really not. Buccos, their young guys will probably play throughout, and they have 4 righties up top: Newman, Castro, Hayes. For some reason, they have Miguel Andujar. I don't know why they picked him up for sure, but he's 2.4K in the cleanup spot. Onel Cruz, but lefty at 5.6K. No.
Yeah. Andujar's been doing all right since he joined the Pirates. So I do like Castro if you wanted to play a Pirate. So we can move on to the next game because I know we got to make up time. So
New York Yankees, Texas Rangers, and Aaron Judge getting a very deserved day off. And now I know we're pressed for time, but I have to say this. One of my favorite historical moments in baseball in my years of life, which is a lot, was last night. Watching him hit number 62. I'll tell you what, I had tears in my eyes. It was beautiful. He, in my opinion, Crash, is the home run champion.
Yeah.
What I watched, and I watched all of it like everybody else did that's my age that was back and then did it. I saw the McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds homers. Yes, I watched Bonds in person a bunch. He was a phenomenal player. Those 3 guys cheated, dramatically cheated. Those stats should not count. And to me, what we saw was a record from 1961, which was before I was born.
Right.
It was broken by Aaron Judge, who to me might be the greatest, nicest, kindest, most humble, incredible guy I've seen in sports in my lifetime. That's how much I admired this guy. I'm not overstating it. The man is unbelievable. Hats off. Well-deserved day off today. I love Aaron Judge. Congratulations. Remember that and tell your kids, let them know that Aaron Judge is the home run champion, not Bonds and those cheaters. All right, in this game, Domingo Germán, 7.3K, Glenn Otto, 5.8K. Are you playing this game, Crash?
I was, but then they announced that both Judge and Stanton got the day off, so I'm not going to go to it. I was originally, though. So,
see, I like some of these bats. I like Cabrera, 3.4K, Donaldson, Peraza.
I do like Cabrera. He is the one, and maybe Higashioka. I like him a little bit too. So
I have a couple of bats. Otto's not good. And the bullpen from the Rangers is not good. So I'll have a few Yankees. As far as the Rangers side, this is a nice game to play Nate Lowe because he's that lefty against the righty here. I'd like to see him have a good game to finish. He's had a year under the radar, a really good year. I also like Josh Young, the rookie, batting cleanup at 2.6K. So I'll have some exposure to this game.
Okay.
410 Braves Marlins, 7.5 total, 3.58 for the Braves, 3.92 for the Marlins. Jackson Stevens, 4K. Eisner Hernandez, 6.3K. What do you got?
There's a couple of value plays I like. I don't know how cheap he is now, but Michael Harris I like, and I also like Marcell Ozuna in this lineup, and maybe Eddie Rosario as well. But I'm looking at more of the value because I think they'll probably pull some of these guys early. So
I agree.
They just clinched the division yesterday. They may not even be in their lineup at all. We don't have their lineup yet. So
that's the key question is we need to know who's in that Atlanta lineup. That's going to be key. All right, I got to look in here real quick. What you thinking? Oh, that's King. He's asking King of Smack. Okay. Hump Day Major League Baseball vibes. I love that. King of all trades. Who else jumped in here? Do we see? I thought I saw somebody else new. Ty Johnson. Did I say hello to you? Yep, we're ready. Let's do this. All right. My home run call. Would you believe it's Marcell Ozuna if he plays?
Nice. You are the Marcell Ozuna whisperer. So.
I usually can grab a home run from him, as stupid as it sounds. So if he plays, he's my home run call. He's 8 for 15 against Eisner Hernandez. A 1496 OPS, 933 slugging, 563 OBP, 533 average, and he's hit 2 dingers off him. So if he is in the lineup, I expect a few guys to be out of it. He'll probably bat 5th or 6th maybe, and I think he can go deep here. But we need to see that lineup for sure on the Atlanta side. For the Marlins, J.J. Bleday has been a guy I've gone to and usually comes through. He's only 2-1. I'm going to have enough money left. I could give you a loan if you need one, Crash, because I like Bleday a little bit. I like De La Cruz a little bit. So I wouldn't mind having a few bats from both sides on this game, and they're generally pretty cheap.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're a good play. We did get some news, which I had already been on this news as far as fading this play, but Clayton Kershaw is going to be limited to 4 to 5 innings. So, yeah,
I anticipate. I wish they wouldn't have announced that because I assumed that, and I was fading him. I was just hoping people would fall for that old trick.
Yeah,
that stinks.
Unfortunately, 2 hours before lock, or roughly just under 2 hours before lock. So it's going to get out there before people put all their lineups in. But
that's for sure.
Yeah.
The Mets lineup dropped, though. That was one I had been waiting for earlier. So I'm looking forward to seeing their lineup. Yeah, there's weird lineup for them today, too.
No Alonso, no Escobar, no Marte, of course, is out. It's a different lineup for sure. No Nemo. Yeah.
Nope. All right. So we're going to look at are we at the Braves Marlins, or did we just do that?
We just did that one.
All right. Nationals Mets. Is that in there?
Yeah, it's in there, but I didn't think we were going to touch it because the weather and the lineups are all crazy. So
Mets in Boston. Yeah, if you want Fetty or Williams, I don't see that. Funky lineups on both sides. Good 50% chance of rain. Pass.
Yeah.
410 Detroit, Seattle. This is a big game for me, Crash. I'm going to just say right now. 7.5 is the total, 3.44 implied for Detroit, 4.06 for Seattle. Tyler Alexander, the lefty, 4.8K. Marco Gonzalez, the lefty, 7.9K. Any love for this game? Because I do.
Yeah, I do like the Mariners. I like Mitch Haniger. I'm pretty big on him, and especially against a lefty here. He's 1 for 4 with a home run against him. And is Kyle Riley in the lineup? Because I like him too, but I don't think he's in there.
He is not.
Okay.
Kurt Casale's catching.
Okay. Outside of him, I mean, I can always go with Julio, but maybe not a lot outside of that. Just Julio and Haniger, I think.
Okay. I've got. I'm going to be a Seattle Mariners fan today, Crash. They're gonna determine my day because my value pitcher is Marco Gonzalez.
Oh wow, I almost thought about him too.
He's only 7.9K. I know he's dangerous, but he's been okay. He's he goes 5 or 6 innings, strikes out 4 or 5. He's going against this Detroit team that's really not good. He had a decent game, pitched 6 innings against them last time. I think Gonzalez goes mid-80s pitchers, maybe mid-90s, and Detroit just isn't good. And I think it's a good spot for an SP2. I have all that extra cash, but I'm going to use it on a few stars today and hope they shine on the last day. Yeah. And one of those stars is J-Rod, your buddy J-Rod, that you called out first before he had an at bat in the pros. I will give you that shout out. And Seattle is my favorite stack. So odd that I have the stack and the pitcher, but I like Rodriguez, France, Haniger, Santana, and Torrens. Torrens is actually catching Casale's DHing, so they're both in the lineup. And I like Kellen. I can't say
Kalenic, I think.
Kalenic. There you go. I couldn't spit it out. Kalenic is a lefty versus lefty, though, but I don't know how long Alexander lasts. Probably won't go. I'm not going to go 5. I never go 5. You guys know that I'm a 3-3-2 kind of builder, but I might go for Seattle today, which really is unusual for me. I think they score. I think they're going to have a decent crowd there, even though it's clinched, because they're in a frenzy there for sports and playoffs, and I think it's going to be a really good game for the Mariners. They are my key play today.
All right.
We go to Tampa Bay and Boston. I'm not playing that game because of weather situations, but I will say Nick Pivetta getting a lot of ownership. It says 70% chance of rain, 56 degrees, wind blowing in from left at 10 miles an hour. Why risk is my opinion.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
That's your stack, right?
Like. Yeah, I really like Boston against Fleming. That's unfortunate, but I'll probably end up going to the Mariners like you. So,
well, if it plays, you have Pham, Devers, Bogarts, Verdugo, Martinez, Hernandez, Hosmer, Arroyo, and McGuire. So they do have a nice lineup.
Right. Well, they're not in the playoffs or anything, so they don't have anything to lose. But Devers, Bogarts, Hernandez, and Arroyo actually at the bottom of the lineup were the 4 that I was looking at the most. So we'll see if they get to play.
Keep a close watch on it. Let's look at stacks and see what are everybody else saying. And does anybody like my Seattle stack? Are people on your Boston if the weather hangs in there? Right now, projected stack on DraftKings, the Chicago Cubs, Crash. When have they been number 1? 13%.
Yeah, I don't get it, but they are playing in that small ballpark in Cincy, so makes some sense. But
I get it.
As a top,
I like that game for scoring. It's actually like 75 degrees in Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I get it.
Is the wind blowing out too, or?
I will get to that here. We'll get to that game shortly.
Okay.
But anyway, you're not going to have to worry about a chalk stack. The Cubs are 13, Dodgers 8, Houston, Cincinnati, and Seattle 7. So Seattle getting some respect there. Minnesota 7, the Mets 5, White Sox 4.5, Atlanta 4. So I mean, there's nobody that you have to fade. Let's just say it that way.
Right.
On Fanduel, it's 14% Dodgers, 12% Cubs, 8% Reds. Sort of like the red side of that too. So people are on that Reds-Cubs game. I get it.
Sure.
7% Mets, 6% Houston, 5.5% Minnesota, 5.5 Cleveland. Boston's at 3. So even with good weather, you're getting a pretty contrarian stack there.
Mm-hmm.
On Yahoo, it's 14.5% Cubs, 12% Dodgers, 7.5 Reds, 7 Atlanta, 6 Cleveland, 5 Boston, 5 Houston. So again, no sweat there as far as chalk.
Right. And Bailey Falter is only supposed to pitch 1 inning. I saw that a second ago. So,
all right. Yeah, I would say don't play Bailey Falter. And speaking of that, that's the game. Philadelphia and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, how about Verlander for me last night, man?
Oh man,
8 in a row he struck out.
Yeah,
I was out of my seat. I'm telling you right now.
Coach, we got the Braves lineup here. Let me read it to you.
Uh-oh.
Dansby Swanson, Orlando Arcia, Matt Olson, William Contreras, Marcelo Zuna, Eddie Rosario, Robbie Grossman, Guillermo Heredia, and Hiri Adrianza. So, yeah.
Well, I predicted Ozuna like 5th or 6th, and he's there. He's homering today, man. He's homering. Okay. I like William Contreras. I like Rosario. I like the Atlanta bats.
Yeah.
I think they're going to hit a little bit.
Yeah.
Although Miami's hard. It's hard to hit in Miami.
Yeah, it is. Eliezer Hernandez is not good, though. So,
no.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Philly, Houston. Falter, the lefty, 8.3K. Framber Valdez, the lefty, 10.2. Never know how far Framber's going to go, but they do have a week off with the bye. So he is getting ownership, and it makes sense. Philly did put a lot of their regular guys back in there, not Harper, but a lot of the other guys are back in. And Houston keeps playing their guys, most of them, and then subbing for them. So I don't trust that at all with Houston.
Yeah, that's why that's why I'm surprised they're so high owned. They're probably going to be just like St. Louis, go 1 or 2 at bats and then get pinch hit for. So, yeah. I mean, they have nothing to play for. So,
no, I don't like anybody in this game, pitching or hitting, other than I may play JT Realmuto. I hope he plays the whole game, but he had yesterday off. Right. And I have so much money, it's not a concern to pay the 5-7.
Yeah, they don't have Harper in their lineup, but they are facing lefty. They've got most of their main guys in there, and they have to play in a couple days. So it's not like they have a week off or anything. So they want to keep their momentum. So I bet
they play Friday. They play 2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days from now. So they got to keep the momentum going. I think although they don't have momentum from last night, but just in general, keep the momentum going, get in a good rhythm, and go into the wild card ready to go. So
I'm with you. I wish I could trust Castellanos because his price is good.
Right.
But we will see how that rolls. 4:10 crash, Minnesota and Chicago. 75 degrees in Chicago. Wind right to left. This has got to be the nicest fall weather. If we have any Chicago members, I can't remember the weather being this beautiful in Chicago every day.
Yeah, in October. Yeah.
Yeah. 8 total, 4.12 implied for Chicago, 3.88 for Minnesota. Louis Varland, 6.8K. Davis Martin Davis Martin, 5.8K for the White Sox.
Yeah, not a lot of interest in this game. Maybe towards the middle to the bottom of the lineup for the White Sox, like Gavin Sheets and Josh Harrison. And then on the Minnesota side, I liked Jose Miranda, but they scratched him, so he's not in their lineup. So maybe a Nick Gordon or Matt Wallner at the bottom of the lineup, but not a whole lot here for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got a shot. I can't remember who it was. I was trying so hard to remember yesterday. I was touting Verlander. Maybe it was Sean V. I don't think he's in here today, but he said Verlander's going to strike out 14 in 5 innings. He said it in chat yesterday. The dude struck out 10 in 5 innings, so it was pretty damn close. So that's a great call, regardless. No doubt about it. I don't know here. It's just I don't trust either one of these pitchers at all, but I sort of like Luis Arise. I'm proud of
Okay.
the fact that he's playing because
Right.
he's the one that's going to deny
Sure.
Judge of a Triple Crown.
Mhm.
I think he'd have to go like 0 for 5 or some crazy stuff to lose the batting title at this point. But I just like that he's playing and he's leading off. That shows a lot of guts. Wouldn't
Yeah.
mind playing him just because he knows if he gets even one hit, it's over.
Right.
So he
Yep.
may focus in and just pound the ball. Nick
Mhm.
Gordon came through for me yesterday. I've been in his corner and he's been cheap. White Sox bats, Moncada's, I got a little bit of a soft spot for Moncada, but not crazy about that game.
Yeah, me either.
Arizona Diamondbacks and your Milwaukee Brewers, Crash. Your season's over. Finally, you don't have to stress it anymore. 410, 6.5 total, 2.85 D-backs, 3.65 implied. Brewers, Merrill Kelly, 9K, Corbin Burns, 10.4K, and I'm playing Corbin Burns, Crash. He's my pay-up pitcher today.
Yeah, he's my 1B, 1A, whatever you want to call it. And I think kind of at a loss with the Brewers sometimes. But they are facing a righty, so that's good usually for them. Rowdy Tellez is due. Urias has been on fire. Garrett Mitchell is just very impressive. I mean, he's so fast. He gets a lot of stolen bases. He homered last night off of Zach Gallen.
I know,
which is like, I don't know. He hasn't given up hardly any home runs this year. So, those would probably be the three guys that I would look at the most. Mainly for some value here if you need it. And on the Arizona side, I mean, sometimes lefties can get to Corbin Burns a little bit, so maybe a Rojas or a Varsho, but that's probably about it for me. Maybe Corbin Carroll too. That's about it, though.
The only question I have for you, and I'm totally comfortable with Burns. I think he goes a good, 7 innings, and he's been terrific lately, and he's striking guys out, and it's a weak lineup. I mean, I have no stress with it, but what do you think as far as how deep he goes, or do you think there's
Burns?
any leash on him at all?
No, I think he'll pitch 7 or 8 or however long he can go, 6 at least. I don't see any reason why they would hold him back.
I think so.
He's healthy. He's been pitching well lately. Want to finish the year strong with him. Yeah, I think he pitches 6 or 7 innings. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, King of Smack. Yeah, I thought Sean V said that because I remember I was so adamant about Verlander and how that whole situation played out so well. I mean, I felt so good about some of our comments that we had in here in chat yesterday were just right on the money. And not often can you go with a pay up and a value pitcher and get the 1-2 top pitchers on the whole slate. So I hope you guys just hammered it with me. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just go with Burns. I'd like a bat or two from Milwaukee. I don't know if I want to go right back to Urias. He was my MVP yesterday. I sort of like your Garrett Mitchell play. Sort of like Willie Adames as just a feel call, even though it's righty. I'll probably have a few Brewers to back up Burns.
Okay.
All right, this is the intriguing game, Crash. I think it's going to get a lot of play. They're in the top 4 stacked teams on all 3 sites right now. And it's odd because it's the Cubs and the Reds. But the reason is 76. Wind blowing out only 3 miles an hour. But it's an 8.5 total. Warm, 4.44 implied for the Cubs, 4.06. So you've got some nice numbers there in Vegas, and 2 pitchers not very strong. Adrian Sampson, 8.1K, Graham Ashcraft, 7.5K. So what are you doing with this game? It could be the shift game of the slate.
Yeah. I do have some of the Cubs in my lineup. Ian Happ and Franmil Reyes are probably my 2 favorites. PJ Higgins I like a little bit, as well as Christopher Morel at the bottom of the lineup. So just kind of spread out throughout the whole lineup, but I do like a couple of these Cubs bats. On the red side, I like Fraley. I think he's a solid play, and probably going to go to either Solano or India on the other side. But
Okay.
those will be my favorites for the Reds.
All right. I like this game, but I like the red side much better than the Cubs side.
Okay.
I think they get to Sampson. I'll have at least 3 Reds. So my lineup pretty much today, guys, if you want to tail me, and I've been hot, I'm going Burns. I'm going probably 3 Mariners and 3 Reds. So that's going to be the bulk of my lineup. And I like all the guys up top: India, Fraley, Farmer, Solano, Fairchild, Steer. All those guys, probably going to grab 3 of them. I don't, for a change, I haven't taken many Reds lately because they're expensive. But I have the extra money today because of all the cheaper plays that are in there. So a 5-2 India, a 4-7 Fraley, a 5-1 Farmer are all super playable. And then one of the cheap guys, Solano at 2-6, Fairchild at 2-2, or Steer at 3-3. Steer homered for me the other day too. He's got a nice young bat. So I like that side. Maybe a one-off for the Cubs for me at most. A Wisdom or maybe a Hap, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 games left, my friend, and then this regular season is over. San Francisco Giants, San Diego Padres, 76 degrees, no wind, 7.5 total, 3.65 implied for the Giants, 3.85 for the Padres. John Brebria, 7.3K against Craig Stammen, 8.3K. Any feel here?
No, I don't really have anything from this game. I mean, there's so many games and you have to fade some of them. So this is a fade for me. So we can go on to the Royals and Guardians, I think, is the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I may have a Padre or 2 here, Crash. I like it depends on the salary because, again, I spend it as fast as I seem to get it stocked up here. But Soto at 5.7 had the day off yesterday. I like him. And Jake Cronenworth, I mean, they're getting ready for the playoffs. So these guys need to sharpen up. Wouldn't mind grabbing one of those solid sticks from the Padres as a one-off.
Yeah, they have a Brandon Dixon in their lineup, which I'm not familiar with him. Looks like he was joined them on a minor league deal in March and then just got selected by them recently. So
he's second base eligibility. He's only 2.2K, batting 7th. Not a bad stick. He's a good risk play.
Okay.
4-10 Royals Guardians, 7.5 total, 3.23 implied for Kansas City, 4.27 for Cleveland. Beautiful day in Cleveland, 68 degrees, no wind to speak of. Jonathan Heasley, 7.2K. Aaron Savali, 7.9K. Savali grabbing some ownership.
Yeah, I do like Savali a little bit as a value play, but I also like these bats for Cleveland. Jose Ramirez is 4 for 5 with 2 home runs against Heasley. He is my home run call today.
Nice.
Like Will Brennan is a lefty at the bottom of the order, and then Stephen Kwan leading off. So I like a few of these Guardians for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having some exposure on either side, really. Not going to stack, certainly. But I wouldn't mind a one-off bat from the Royals, either Melendez or Pasquantino, specifically one of the lefties, Massey even, as maybe a last man in. And then on the Guardian side, if I did spend up, it would be Ramirez that I'd look at. Can't believe Andres Jimenez is up to 6.2K batting cleanup for them. I talk about a guy that snuck up, Yeah,
for real. Definitely.
They got Jimenez and Rosario from the Mets for Lindor. That was the trade.
Oh, yeah.
And look at how those guys are playing for the Guardians. Nobody predicted them to win that division. So
right. That's true.
I'm rooting for them. I hope they make a run in the playoffs. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, other than that, probably not going to go too deep here. But, Kwan leading off is always a nice play. He's going to get on base.
Yep.
But he's 6'1".
Right.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
All right, last game. and it's a game. Too bad they announced about Kershaw because I thought he would get decent amount of ownership, but don't play him. 4 innings, probably, in my opinion. 82 degrees in LA, no wind, 7.5 total, only a 2.49 for Colorado implied. So people that aren't paying attention may say, oh, see that and play Kershaw. That'd be great. 5.01 for the Dodgers. Austin Gomber, the lefty, 7.5. Clayton Kershaw, 9.8.
Yeah, I hate being in this spot because this is where, I've gone to this team multiple times the last several days and they've been burning me. But I think I'm going to fade the Dodgers today.
Stack the Dodgers. You're the king of fade and they go off immediately.
Yeah, sometimes. But I do like Justin Turner, though. I mean, he's 6 for 7 with a home run against Gomber. So 857, small sample. Is that all? 857 against Gomber. So
what a slouch.
Yeah, and also on the Rockies side, Randall Grichuk is my BVP play. He's 333, 7 hits and 21 at bats, 4 singles, a triple, and 2 home runs against Kershaw. So you can go to some cheap bats here with Turner and Grichuk. Get some value for your lineups, righty lefty.
Definitely. Grishik's my BVP play. He came through yesterday. He's leading off today.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I think he'll get some extra at bats. And his BVP, for even if he only gets to face him twice, is good against Kershaw. He's let me see, where is it here? I know I had it. Now I don't see it. Let me just tell you, it's good. Believe me
and for that matter, you could look at Bouchard too. I like him too. So
yeah, I like him leading off. I think he could grab a home run or a couple of hits here, and I like having the other side of a few bats against that bullpen. Even though their bullpen's good, I just don't think I think they'll just use some in between guys. This game means less than nothing to them. So
right.
And then I'm on the Dodgers side. I am going to fade Freeman now. I'm pretty pissed off at him. So you might want to play him because I've spent the big money for him all week. And he's literally 0 for 12, his last 12. Yeah. And I think I absorbed all 0 for 12 of those on my roster. So Freeman, I don't like you right now, sir, at all. But yeah, I mean, again, these guys are going to get a lot of pinch hitter things. I talked about it on the podcast. I preached it. And like a dumbass, I played Trace Thompson yesterday and he got pinch hit for 2 at bats. Yeah. So you got to really watch the Gallows, Bellingers, Luxes, and then with it being anybody could be pinch hit for. So I'm not on the Dodger stack today, as most people are. I don't feel the values there.
I don't either. All right.
Well, we're gonna do it. 2 brains are better than 1, and then can you still do it, or do we need to cancel it?
Yeah, I got time. Let's roll.
You got time.
Yeah.
You've got time, and I've got the picks, and we're gonna win. Let's do a takedown here. This is a FanDuel GPP. 2 brains are better than 1, and we're gonna finish the season just in your honor, Crash, with Corbin Burns as our pitcher.
Nice. All right, I will go ahead and take what I was just talking about and take Justin Turner at 2,900, third base.
Marcelo Zuna, $2,500.
I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of salary left today.
Believe me, I'll spend some of it.
Yeah. Randall Grichuk, 2,400.
Julio Rodriguez.
There you go. There's the salary.
We're 3,025 ahead, so we're still in great shape.
Pujols, 28.
All right.
Catcher, first base.
All righty. That makes sense. Let's see here. Willie Adames.
Okay.
That leaves us $2,750 for a second baseman utility.
Garrett Mitchell, utility.
You took Mitchell?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that leaves me with
3,200, second base.
Where is Mitchell? I can't find him. Okay, there he
A
is.
utility is where I
Okay.
played him. Yeah.
$3,200 for a second baseman, which means I talked about the dude, so I'm going to take him.
Arias?
No, Andres Jimenez.
Oh, okay.
I talked about him that his price went up. He's batting cleanup today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump on that.
All right, let's do it.
So our final two brains are better than one.
Quicker than ever, I think, Coach.
Oh, this was we just gaslighted this sucker.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns, Albert Pujols, Andres Jimenez, Justin Turner, Willie Adames, Marcelo Zuna, Julio Rodriguez, Randall Grishik, and Garrett Mitchell is the final call of the season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have to do our last thing, which two things. One, I'm going to get a set of tickets away. So if you're in, I see decent amount of people in here. Not everybody's commented.
Hey,
so
Coach, I'm going to have to give you my Boom Fantasy plays real quick and roll out of here.
Okay, you give your Boom Fantasy, and then I'll give away the tickets.
Okay. All right, so Boom Fantasy, I've got Pick'em favorites, Franmil Reyes over 0.5 hits, Mitch Haniger over 0.5 hits. Enjoyed it. It's been a great year, guys. We're going to crush the playoffs. Hope y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Crash. All right, I'll finish things up for us. My Boom Fantasy prediction plays today are, I can actually change this so I don't look funky with just the split screen. Let's make it look professional. There we go. All right, so let's see. Tickets. They're coming, Mr. David. So my Boom Fantasy picks, thank you for being our presenting sponsor. We love you, Boom Fantasy. If you want to join Boom Fantasy, do it now. We have a link connected right here in our bio, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on our website, dfscoachtalk.com, and they will match you dollar for dollar for your first $100 deposit. Go for it. You can't miss out. They have some great plays. My top two today, Marcus Semien over a half a single is my first play. And on that same vein, Mr. Real Muto over a half a single. So I just need a couple of knocks from these guys to take down the Boom Fantasy. We will be posting a couple more in Discord as well. All right, my friends, it is time to give away a set of tickets for the Millie Maker. So I would like you to, if your name is called, you know the routine. Go to Twitter at DFS Coach Talk, DM me your PayPal email, and it's all yours. The winner of today's two tickets, drum roll, please. Oh, come on, dude. It's Tony A. Tony A has won another set of tickets. This might be the ones that get the million. I just feel it, Tony. I feel it. All right, my friends. Love you guys. Fired up. Tomorrow, no baseball. So what we're doing is we only have the NFL podcast. That is at 6:50 p.m. Eastern. And we have a special guest, one of the major big wheels from Boom Fantasy. He's going to come on. You can ask him questions. It's going to be awesome. He will be on with Crash, Steven, and myself to break down NFL and get the Boom Fantasy information tomorrow at 6:50 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll be back on Friday with baseball and all of our regular stuff as we roll. So thank you so much for listening in. Hello, Dylan Danuji. That's a new person. Welcome to the family. Join us again. We're going to give away tomorrow night a $20 Millie Maker ticket. So one of the big Millie Maker tickets on that Thursday night NFL podcast. So join us for that one for sure. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Let's take down some stuff here on this last day of the regular season. Big congratulations again to Aaron Judge. Appreciate all of you listening in, and we'll catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in DFS and Boom Fantasy.